Ah, he clapped at me.
I clapped at her. Oh no. We should mention right now that I usually have better posture, but I'm taller than Autumn, so.
Very tall. That was my
Let's
phone,
see.
by the way. I threw it on the floor.
Writing down Kong dancing. What else are we going to talk about today?
I was going to talk about
Starship
this movie
Moon.
I watched that had really cool focal depth.
Cool. What's it called?
It's called The Perfectionist.
Perfectionist. Movie. Oh, Seta 48 would be a good one to talk about. Moxie screenings. It's been a little while since we recorded one of these, huh?
Yeah, I was ill the last time.
What? Now I feel we need to like make like a barfing joke here. Just like, bleh.
No,
So
it
it
was,
should
it
pop
was
out.
like, nasal head.
That kind of. Okay.
Yeah.
And
Which I'm convinced you gave it to me.
I probably did.
I don't think you did. I think I got
Just
it.
share and share alike. That's how it works in our family. You
Yeah.
know, just be like, hey, you have a cold child? Please hand it off to me. We started a little while ago. So here
Yes,
we
we
go. Here we are.
As you can tell, we are missing
Kong.
Kong. He's
He
no
may
longer
pop
with
up
us.
during the video saying things like, Forbidden! Forbidden!
He like shows up in the background here.
Oh, that'd be fun too. We should put a green screen up or something. We can be like, hey. Yes. And feel free to look at the other camera too, by the way. Dun dun dun. So we did make a joke because Kong is currently out in Utah right now.
Yes, he's in Utah.
And he sent us a picture, which I thought was pretty funny because we have Creative Endeavors is the company that we're in. And we have, as a part of that, it's called Springfield Studio One, where we have improv and music and other things, videoing, stuff like this. We're kind of going around to different parts of the studio, which is why we never have the same backdrop, ever. I know. But he sent a picture that showed Studio One dancing.
Yes.
And then we told him, hey, are you going to dance for us?
No.
Is he? Sorry, I was looking at the red dot on there to make sure it was going.
I don't know. I've never seen that
You
man.
volunteered to teach him to dance. Some Lady
can
Gaga stuff.
Yes, I can definitely teach him to dance some Gaga dances. As
I'm really
that's
hoping.
the only thing I know.
I'm really hoping now that he like has a video that he makes in Utah where he's just kind of like dancing, you know, a little bit of shuffle.
I've never seen him dance before in my life, knowing him, so I have no idea what it's going to look like.
Oh gosh. Actually, I was supposed to be Kong in Utah. So Kong's actually in Utah doing something with a YouTuber.
Yeah, Double Jump Media.
Right, Double Jump Media, which is here in Springfield,
Yep.
which is where we're based out of. But they're following a YouTuber around who goes to fancy hotels and apparently does tours and tells them what's going on in it. So I was like, hey, that's fun. That's like another show we do called Exploring the Ozarks. See, we're just doing shameless name dropping now.
I mean, we got to plug our stuff somehow, you know. You know, it's not shameless.
All right, see, I got my checklist. We're going through it.
It's the way of life. Sponsor us, by the way.
Yeah, or just give us money. We'll take that too. They don't have to talk about sponsors at all. We'll just be like, yeah, they gave us money. We're good. We'll have your name scroll. See, now we need an example of the name scrolling up just really quickly. Just random names, Kong, whatever you want to put in.
Yeah.
Did he do it? We'll never know
I don't know.
until we watch this.
Look, there's one right there.
What?
Oh my gosh.
Not here in the middle?
They're everywhere.
Up
They're
there?
everywhere.
Yeah, okay. He's not going to do it now. We're going to look really stupid. All right. So we'll hit my next topic since we'd already discussed Kong and all of his stuff.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
So we had a couple fun things going on. One was we did a TEDx video for Susie Sharp. She had a TEDx
That was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun.
in Washington. And then we won't go into all the details, but she wanted us to do it for her here in Springfield as well. So we ended up doing that over at the Art Museum, and it was, turned out really well. That should be in our Creative Endeavors portfolio if you want to have something similar made for you. But yeah, she's just a great lady, and it was a cool story. I mean,
Yeah.
I learned a lot.
I did too, yeah.
We heard her TED Talk like 5 or 6 times.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Learned something new every time. Plus, she has amazing paintings, so I would check her out.
Paintings are really beautiful.
They really are.
They're super colorful.
Yeah.
So
It's true.
I like how she uses it. She does like the splatter paint situation, but it's
Kind of.
it's like
She also had some like really good paintings of like people, but they were multicolored.
Right.
Kind of like the famous Obama one that you see. Like
Yeah.
there's that multicolor one.
Yeah. There was a JFK one, right?
There was a JFK one, and then one for Bill Gates, and there's another guy.
Yes.
That she talked to me about yesterday when I saw her, but I forget his name, unfortunately. So go watch her talk, and you'll be able to see what it is.
Yes.
But it was fun. It was good. On the flip side of that, we had things blowing up, because as everybody knows here, I'm a big spaceship kind of guy.
He's always
and not
in
just
space. Figuratively and literally.
Heads in the cloud, feet maybe on the ground, who knows. But SpaceX, yeah, they launched their Starship. It was pretty cool.
Yes.
It blew up.
Yes,
but
I knew it blew up.
people would say, okay, well, that's a failure, but it's not,
No.
because they were just wanted to lift up off the launch pad because they'd never launched it before.
Mm-hmm.
And it made it up, I think it was 39 kilometers.
And it's also good that it blows up, so when they actually put humans in there, it won't blow
It doesn't,
up.
yeah, assuming they fix the issues.
Right. Hopefully. Oh my gosh.
So this happened. It was pretty cool. It dug a really big hole underneath the pad, which
It's a huge
is
crater.
Yeah, huge crater. Which is good because they need to put a water deluge system in anyway, so their work's halfway done.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a good way of looking at it, right?
Yeah.
So once they fix that up, they'll launch a couple more of these Starships. It'll be great. Yeah, I'm excited for it. Yay, SpaceX. And we could also talk more about other companies that are doing things. Actually, Japan, private company out of there just tried to land a rover on the moon. It's the first private company to do that, which was pretty cool. They didn't make it. I think at the very last, like as they were landing it, it failed.
Oh.
Which is like the worst.
Yeah. No.
But it's also really cool because, again, it's like one of those things where you say, oh, that's a failure. But really it's not, because they made it all the way to the moon, and then the last step it failed.
Yeah.
So now they know, okay, they'll have all the data from it. They didn't release to the public, of course, but they'll have all the data from it, and they'll be able to make adjustments and next time be successful. But they know they can get 99% of the way there. So
How long has the Mars rover been up there?
which one?
I don't know. Is there a new one?
There's like three, I think, going right now.
Oh.
So I think Perseverance is the most recent one, or is it Curiosity? Either way, the most recent one's been in there for a couple years now,
Oh.
2 or 3 years. They've had a couple that have been there now for like 20 plus. And then you also have to talk about the helicopter that the last rover took. They actually have a helicopter there flying around on, like a little drone, flying around the Martian atmosphere.
I did not know that.
Which is really hard because the density of Mars, the atmosphere is not dense at all. It's like being on the top of Mount Everest, if not thinner, like going up even higher. So in order to get it to fly, the way that helicopters and like quadcopters work is you're having the blade going really, really fast, and it basically, the air is a liquid.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like water, but it is a liquid, so it uses that motion, as propeller does in the water, to lift.
Okay.
And creates that. There's Bernoulli effects and all those other things that go into it, but in essence, it's because of the thickness of the air that allows that to happen.
Interesting.
So on Mars, they have to crank up the RPM like to 25,000 versus like whatever it is here on Earth, which is like more like 1,000, 1,500 RPM. So they have to get it like super fast, and it still works. It has to go a lot faster. So
Oh no.
the light went out, and now I look really phantomy. We'll just keep
Yeah.
going. This is why we plug in these things, unfortunately, with these small batteries.
Oh well, it actually made it look more dramatic.
I like it. So, speaking of being dramatic, we're past the space stuff. You just watched a movie called The Perfectionist.
Yes, I did, and
Tell us about it.
It's
Since
a very
we're all filmmakers here.
interesting film
Yeah.
that utilized this like new vocal depth that I've been seeing a lot in film.
Vocal depth.
Yes. So
So what's different? Because you have depth of field. Like on our main shot here, you can see the back is kind of blurry, but we're in focus. That's a part of depth of field where you have a part of the camera is in focus.
right.
But vocal depth, that sounds interesting.
So they're utilizing this new technique that I've actually been seeing through like several pieces of media. Like Mike Flanagan did it in Bly Manor a couple times, and then I've seen it in Archive 81,
Okay.
which these are all like Netflix shows. Interesting. I've only seen them all on Netflix shows. Anyway,
So
but
what is
basically,
this vocal depth?
so basically, what it is the foreground and the background are in focus at the same time. But
Oh.
there's like this blurred like line in between them to show like the depth in between them. It's the most interesting thing.
I'm hearing vocal depth, by the way. So you're saying focal depth?
Yes, focal depth.
Okay, because I was thinking
That's-
like depth to your speaking. I was like, that's interesting. That's different.
No, I mean,
But a focal depth.
yeah.
Yeah. So like just like we were saying before with blurriness in the background.
Yes.
So this is doing front and back, but not the middle.
Yeah,
How
front
do you
and
even
back.
do that?
See, I don't know, and because
Would it be a special lens that you have to make?
either it has to be a special lens or it's some sort
you-
of special effect that they do in post.
Or are you layering like
Or
2 shots?
Maybe. I don't have no idea. But it's super
If
interesting.
you know anybody knows out there, let us know in the comments, please.
And also, they use it several times in the film. They introduce it like literally in the first like 2 shots of the film.
So what is it
And-
being used for? Like what does it tell you as a viewer?
Well, I think it's like just the 2 subjects, like you're supposed to be paying attention, or in a sense of like maybe the main character, you're in her point of view,
Mm-hmm.
so you're like seeing her on screen at the same time as like what she's looking at.
That's interesting.
So it's
Okay.
super interesting. It's a
Yeah.
really interesting film as well. It's kind of it's a thriller, it's a psychological thriller, but
Okay.
there is some body horror elements.
Alfred Hitchcock style stuff.
Yes, yeah, there is some body horror elements. So be warned, there is some weird bugs that happens. That
So Alfred Hitchcock meets Alien.
yes,
Gotcha.
yes. The body horror is not prevalent through the entire thing. It's only
you-
just like a one little section.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds at all?
No, I'm not. no.
So there's an episode where do you mind if I talk about
Yeah,
it at all? Okay,
yeah, go
so
ahead.
I don't want to spoil anything for anybody, so I'm going to keep it vague but also kind of specific. So there's an episode where you remember the Gorn from the original series, like where Captain Kirk fights this big reptile creature.
Oh, yeah.
So the Gorn are like the actual like a big enemy in Strange New Worlds, but you're actually terrified of them. They're not these puppet things. It's more like the Predator sort of
Oh.
situation. So they lay eggs inside of people.
Ew.
And they have an episode where it's that whole scene from the Alien.
Oh, yeah.
Not that I've actually really seen this. I've seen the scene, but where it just pops out.
Yeah.
And they do that in Strange New Worlds with this guy that had eggs inside of him. And like they took out a whole entire Starship crew, just these couple of Gorn, and it's like you start to really respect the fact that Captain Kirk could take one on and survive the ordeal. Now, if you haven't seen, maybe Colin will throw in the Star Trek Gorn fighting thing here. Because that was really bad. But then maybe superimpose a part of the Gorn from the new one, and you'll see what I'm talking about. So
I did see. I have a couple Starcraft. Oh my God.
Starcraft?
Starcraft.
Starcraft? What are you saying?
Star Trek clips on my TikTok, and there was one that was just.
yeah.
It was all ADR, but they were indoors. So
Oh.
I don't know why they ADR'd this entire scene. It was
Is
like
this the original
really bad.
series or one of the more recent ones?
I want to say it was like. I think it was either the original series. It looked like it was maybe the 90s or
Yeah.
the 80s. So, because it didn't look terribly old.
Jeez.
So,
Interesting.
yeah, I was like, why are they? It's because you could definitely tell. Like when something's ADR, if it's not done like perfectly right,
Oh, yeah.
you can tell. And it was
Yes, you
like
don't have to be an expert to tell
Yeah.
because you can just as a human you hear things and you understand
yeah,
that's not how that should sound.
yeah.
Just like when I was at the Moxie, this is a good segue into the
Ooh.
Moxie screenings. When I was watching my film that I made with another team. For
Rude.
I feel kind of guilty now. I shouldn't
No.
have said it that way. Autumn's a busy person, so she didn't want to do Sado this year for that.
No.
That's what we'll say anyway. We're not going to blame her for anything else. Nothing else.
Well, going to Sado, I have a traumatizing story about why I won't do Sado.
Oh, yeah.
It's not that
an intense,
traumatizing,
It is
but-
an intense process, though.
Yeah.
And not everybody wants to do it, which is fine. It's good. A lot of people that do it are more hobbyists anyway. So it's fun. It's kind of hard to ask professionals to do it because you
Right.
deal with video all the time. So anyway, but back to the ADR thing you were talking about.
Yes.
I was watching the film at the Moxie cinema, and you could just tell as you're watching it, it's like, this is just slightly off. And we had timed it perfectly when we made our video, but unfortunately the program that was screening it, the audio sync was just a little bit off, which was
Yeah.
part of that program. This is,
Yeah.
it's interesting as I start doing more live stream stuff, as we start doing all these things. I'm sure you worked on TV shows, so you probably have dealt with this thing in the
course.
past. Just how much that audio sync compared to like streaming a video and then syncing the audio to the video and making sure everything works perfectly. I mean, it's a whole entire thing.
I mean, I've noticed it with like if you're using Bluetooth speakers.
Yeah.
Like it is so frustrating because I have a Bluetooth speaker on my computer and like it's kind of hard to like sync to it.
Yeah.
If you're watching something that you know is perfectly synced.
Yeah.
Like this last band video I did, like it's perfectly synced, but on my computer it's like desynced. It's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing.
Yeah, no, my brother's a musician, big audiophile, as they call audiophile. And he always says, you know, don't use Bluetooth if you're going to be doing audio work. And now that it makes more sense.
It
now.
does make a lot of sense.
I'm going to have to, I have a Bluetooth headphones I use, but I think I'm going to have to pull back in my speaker, my monitors that I have that plug into the computer.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll see. So, but Sado went really well. Mm-hmm. So the Moxie, we had 64 screenings. So Sado is a short video challenge. So if there's anybody out there that wants to do like a short video challenge, 5 minutes or less, you can only have 40 hours to make it. So it's great for a weekend thing. And a great way to just get with your friends and make video. Well, our other light went out over there.
Oh no!
It just keeps going out.
We just have this one now.
That one's plugged in though, so we're good. So with the way, so 48 hours, 2 days to do it. You get an inspiration package at the very beginning. There's a big kickoff. I made one with my team. There's another 74 people, teams signed up. So we had something like 400 people almost, I think, participate. Mm-hmm. And then we have screenings at a local independent theater, and then we have an awards ceremony on June 3rd. So if you're here local, make sure you come out and support that. It's always a good time. Red carpet experience, all the fun things. But yeah, it was a good experience. It was a lot of fun. And the Moxie screenings, we probably had on average like 30, 40 people each screening. It was Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and it was really well attended. Yeah. So, I mean, I totally recommend, I mean, even if it's not Sado 48, get into film festivals, get into film challenges. It's a great way to stretch your skill set.
Definitely.
So we'll probably do some as a team at some point, but maybe not Sado 48 because traumatizing experience.
Well, it was
no,
just,
it was terribly traumatizing. We'll leave it at that.
It was
so terrible.
It was awful, and I have PTSD, and I can't look at it the same.
And now everybody's going to wonder what happened to her. We're just going to cut
it
off there.
If it's still on the internet, you might be able to find it.
So anyway, that's all we have time for today, unless there's something else you want to add.
No.
Nothing at all? Yeah, we kind of wandered around a little bit there. I think we're at 17 minutes now. So that's pretty good.
This is the longest we've ever done this.
Is it?
I don't know. It probably isn't.
Yes, it is.
No.
Maybe. And we didn't talk about Chinese spy balloons or anything. Oh, I guess we did talk about the Starship blowing up, which is like the Chinese spy balloons blowing up. So.
Did you talk about that last time?
Not last time. It was the time before, the very first one that we did.
Oh, well, yeah. But last time, did you talk about...
I talked about Starship.
But not
yes, because I went down there to visit.
Yes, that's right.
And then they had the launch a couple weeks ago. So, yeah. It's a constant theme. So I'm going to actually start making a segment, if anybody wants to watch it, called Space Stuff. I've made it in the past, but I think I'm getting ready to do it again and actually talk space news every week because, as you can tell, I really like it. So,
yes.
And maybe Kong and Autumn will have their own segments that they'll do. We'll see what happens there. You can talk focal depth and other things.
Or video games or something.
Or something. See, that's what this channel's all about. It's just about anything.
Yes.
We can talk about whatever we want.
Also rereading the Hunger Games series again, so that's fun.
I have never actually read that.
It's a good book series.
Yeah, I could
you
never
just watch
get
the
behind.
movies?
I never watched the movies either. I couldn't get behind the idea of kids killing each other.
Okay, Dad. All right.
I mean, this was when I was younger too, but even more so now. Yeah, and it's actually speaking of that. Yeah, as I get older, it's like, do I really want to be watching things where they kill each other all the time?
I mean, yes, I understand that aspect, but it's like there's a reason why.
Of course, and I know the reasons.
Yes.
Like I know the synopsis of the whole series.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's not good. It sounds like a great series. I just could never get into it. Just one of those series. I was like,
Right. I think they should remake the first movie, but that's just my opinion.
Well,
the cinematography is not very good.
And you know, it's interesting because I don't know if they had a contract to do like the 5 movies at that point, or were they just doing the first one to see?
I have no idea, but when Francis Lawrence picked it up, it was like it just became gold.
Yeah.
Like, Catching Fire is literally the most beautiful film I've ever seen in my life. That's a lie. That's a lie. I've seen way more beautiful films, but it is on top of that list.
We'll just say that that's up here. If you have other comments you want to make about that, please do. Also, if you have any ideas as to what these mysterious figures are in the background, are they real? Are they mannequins? Are they some sort of alien life that's going to take over? Put your comments below about that too. What do you think they are? I know you helped set them up, but...
I think they're lost souls.
Ooh, like ghosts?
Yeah.
Okay. I like that.
They're just passing through.
I think we'll end on that. See you later. We'll see you next month when we do this again.
Peace.
Out.